Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast, the podcast that you can listen to in less time than it takes you to throw dice at cultists so they don't wake up Cthulhu. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And I think that's a reference to how fucking long Arkham Horror and Eldritch Horror take.
Yeah.
They take forever.
Arkham Horror much longer than...
Especially with the more
Eldritch.
expansions and shit you add in.
Yes.
Yeah, they take forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah. Another fine entry into the ripping off Board Game Blitz's intro contest.
Very much so.
Unfortunately, nobody who entered that part won. The winner was an email.
Yep.
Which is fitting because this is an email episode. So, a little background for those of you who are like, wait, didn't you just do an email episode? They're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. Jeff and I did the email episode because Zach was gone and we were looking for something to do that we could do without Zach. And Jeff's the email guy.
Instead of nothing.
And because we were about to just take the week off. It's 4th of July week, but you can't be most podcast if you take weeks off. So we said, fuck that. We got to find some kind of thing to do.
And then I was like, we have all those emails.
Yeah. From our previous contest that we thought we'd just fill in when people weren't regularly emailing us.
And then we forgot.
Well, we didn't even necessarily forget. Our fans were awesome and have been sending us so many regular emails that we didn't have time to start filling in all the extra Lisboa ones.
I do know there are at least a couple times where we just didn't have any emails. And so
But then the episode
Those
was
were
already...
long episodes.
Yeah, I know.
It was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, let's just bust all those out in one episode. And then we did another giveaway. And that giveaway had an email component, would had a lot of emails, some of them quite long.
What one had?
What one had? Yeah, I'm speaking Southern.
You said some college. Yeah.
Wasn't English. Didn't study English. Anyhow, so we decided we're going to get this one out of the way right and early while they're all fresh emails, as in within the last couple weeks.
Indeed.
That we've been running this contest.
Some would say since June 22nd.
June 22nd.
Some would say.
Some would say. Some would be correct if they said that.
That would factually.
They would
Yes.
be incorrect if they did not say that.
It's true.
Depends on how they phrased it.
Nope. If they do not say that specific word, they would be wrong. Even if they have no context of this entire podcast, like the people next door have no context. If they haven't said that yet, they're wrong.
Okay. Sure.
Now that that's clear.
Now that it's
is
clear.
Yeah.
Crystal clear.
We decided we're going to get these emails done and blast through them because there are some really fun ones about favorite Mile High Game Guys moments. There's one email in here in particular I'm thinking of that if we didn't do these email giveaways randomly, would have hands down been the winner.
Yep.
Because it is fantastic. And yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. So we figured we'd go through those. We're going to touch on maybe a couple of the BGG responses, mostly because Zach wants to complain about, make valid points about how some people can't follow basic instructions.
Criticize.
There are a couple really good ones from Twitter where people actually backed up what 3 games they would burn on a pyre and why. So we'll touch on those maybe there at the end, depending on time frame. But we're definitely going to blast through these emails. So this is 2 times in a row email episodes. Have no fear.
I promise we are doing games next.
Next Friday, not only are we doing a game, we can tell you right now, we are doing Carthago, which is a newer game from Capstone Games. Nice little game of building up influence in Carthage. So look for that review next Friday. And then we have some other cool reviews and discussions and maybe even an interview that we're currently working on scheduling. It's hard to schedule sometimes with Germany. There's a big time difference.
It's like at least 2 hours.
At least. So yeah, we got a lot more of actual like good content coming up. So just hang out with us through these email episodes.
Because this is going to be a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, in the future we have good content. Now on to what we're actually doing right now.
Well,
Just
I mean, I know
garbage.
some people might not just want to listen to a bunch of emails. I don't know. I'm just bracing those people that there's actual other things coming back.
Those people don't deserve to listen to our show then.
Shut your mouth, Zach. Shut your mouth.
This is like Anniversary Part 2. This is all everyone's favorite moments from the Mile High Game Guys.
Correct. So without further ado, Jeff, how about you dive into these emails that were sent to you at our email address, which is
emails@milehighgameguys.com. We start with the winner, Eric. his email entry. I really enjoyed the real estate portions of the podcast. Unfortunately, the house next door was bought by non-gamers, and when I showed them my game room, they didn't even comment about it. And he has an attached picture here of his amazingly huge, colossal, massive, wonderful game room.
Yeah.
Which I almost wanted to be like, do I see Champions of Midgard?
Is it in there?
Is that already in there?
You already own that?
It's too many games to go through
Yeah.
them all, unfortunately.
If I had enough time.
But it sounds like his next door neighbors are zombies or something similar to that.
Terrible
even,
people.
If they didn't even comment on it.
Right? He brought him over. Here's my game room.
That's
just nothing.
Yeah.
Just blank stares.
Even if
and
someone showed me
silence.
their awesome football, like, wow, you can. Wow, that's
You might be.
oh yeah, that's okay. That is something.
Are you
That is a
stalking
thing.
Joe
Yeah.
Montana?
Yeah.
Joe Montana.
Yeah. Continuing on. Well, congratulations, Eric, on your winning entry.
And now all the others.
And now all the others. Next one's from Bryant. My favorite moment was during number 74 and the review of Civilization: A New Dawn. Not just because I wanted to hear your thoughts on a streamlined Civ game, but you read my BGG comment and discussed my question of how much you can streamline a Civ game before it becomes something else. Thanks, Bryant.
Which that was a good comment. Gave
Yeah.
us something to talk about
Exactly.
that we hadn't already talked about on the show.
Yeah, which we try and get as much content from our listeners as possible.
Exactly. It helps really pad the stats.
Yeah, it does.
This next one comes from Scott. Hey guys, I haven't met you guys in person yet, but I've spent many a night listening to you guys on my way to work. But hey, if I win this contest and we do meet up, I'll whip out Midgard and we'll play it together. Is that innuendo?
It's good he didn't say I'll whip it out, because then that's
Yeah. I mean, he clearly said he'll whip out Midgard,
Yeah.
not something else.
Indeed. I'm good gaming company too. I'm sure we'd get along in person though. We could talk beers. I'm an IPA guy. Never cared much for porters.
You've lost me.
I like both those things though. We could talk sports because I'm from Boston and literally all of our teams are awesome. Is that correct?
That is incorrect.
Incorrect?
That is factually incorrect.
Okay.
The Celtics were awesome at one point.
Okay.
Other than that, Boston is terrible.
Okay.
Scott and I have a love-hate relationship with each other. He trashes my Broncos. He supports the Patriots, who I hate, but they're better than the Broncos, so I don't have a good leg to stand on. I just have to kind of just glare
Okay.
menacingly, but also kind of sadly because they're a better team.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Cleveland Brown fans shit on other people's teams, even though.
Oh, well, yeah, but the Cleveland Browns are so terrible that the only thing you have is delusion. So,
All right.
Okay. All right.
anyhow,
He continues. Maybe I'd even give you guys a Tom Brady or David Ortiz or a Larry Bird or a Bobby Orr shirt.
I take a Larry Bird shirt.
I know who Larry Bird is, and that's about it.
You know who Tom Brady is.
Oh yeah, and Tom
Jesus
Brady.
Christ.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on,
Of course, I
Jeff.
know who Tom
Do
Brady.
you know who Larry Bird is from Space Jam?
No,
Okay.
he was a very when the Bulls were popular in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
The Celtics were very good during that time and would play them in the playoffs, and that's
Yep.
why I know who Larry
Okay.
Bird is.
All right.
I might even give you guys
for the record, Bobby Orr is a hockey player, and David Ortiz is a baseball player.
Gotcha.
Like
Bruins
all
players.
star Boston players.
Well, he would give us one of these shirts to wear while we played.
I would, like I said, I would take Larry Bird, and I could probably do Bobby Orr. David Ortiz, Tom Brady, no.
It would be cool for Jeff to say emails at milehighgameguys.com or please email me. Here's my email or some variation of it. After we finish playing, you guys can head on to the next game. I'll pick up all the pieces too, so you don't have to worry about sticking around to help. See, that's just jerks, not helping someone clean up.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that you all had fun playing. Anyway, you guys convinced me to get Stockpile. Good choice.
Great game.
And you were on to something about terraforming Mars. So you at least know something about board games.
Scott.
Scott.
Yep.
So I just realized he didn't ever actually address the email requirement of telling us what his favorite Mile High Game Guys moment
That's
was.
true.
His favorite moment was going to be a fictional future in which he won. Well, it was a possible future. It is now a fictional future.
Oh, geez. Scott has also been a fairly long time listener who's,
Mhm.
like I said, for almost 2 whole years now, been giving me shit about my Broncos fandom.
Fair
It
enough.
hurts, but I respect it. Like, I respect all the other people who mock me for the things I believe
Indeed.
and enjoy. Next.
Next email is from James. I started listening to you guys last year. I've really enjoyed all the gaming discussions. My favorite was listening to you all talk about one of your giveaways and background. I had started listening fairly recently and contribute to a board gaming website called Everything Board Games. I update their board game giveaway database. I had heard your giveaway and had shared it out. So my favorite part that I really enjoyed was hearing you guys talk about how many people found you guys because of that post on our website. Not really wanting to be self-serving, but it really did make me feel good. It was the Gloomhaven giveaway from episode 54.
That actually sounds pretty much spot on.
Yep.
Because that would have been almost a year ago,
Anniversary
which was
time.
roughly around the time I had won Gloomhaven at the Heavy Cardboard meetup,
Mhm.
and then we did it, I think, for the 1-year anniversary. I think that was our 1-year anniversary giveaway. It was Gloomhaven.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Still our biggest giveaway, too.
Oh,
So.
yeah. Wow. It was
Yeah.
in every
Free-
sense of the word.
Free Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Weird.
When everyone was like, we can't get Gloomhaven, we're like, we have one for free. Shocking that people are like,
Yes,
Hi.
please.
Sup, yo?
Hello. Goodbye forever. Keep on gaming and podcasting. Congrats on 2 years, James.
Thank you, James. We certainly appreciate it.
This next one comes from a different Scott.
Scott B, some would say.
My favorite episode after discovering you from a previous contest, I bet it was Gloomhaven.
Might have been Lisboa.
true.
Lisboa was a pretty big one,
It's
too.
true. Was the best in under 90 minutes.
Best games.
Best games in under 90 minutes. Since this is about my maximum threshold of a game I like to play. What a fun list concept.
Indeed. We're rapidly approaching another list episode
Yeah.
here in a few weeks.
Whatever
So,
that'll be.
I mean, it's like 7
7
weeks.
7 weeks.
So roughly a little less than 2 months.
That's not a few weeks away.
It's a few weeks.
No, not even that.
Yes, it is. It's a few.
A few is
3 of 3. So it's 9 weeks away.
No, it's
It's slightly. Yeah, it's roughly.
okay.
Roughly speaking.
All right. Continue, Jeff.
Roughly 21 hours of content away.
Yeah.
This next one comes from Trey. My favorite memory was winning Gloomhaven from you. I've played it once.
Glad that worked out for you, Trey.
Yes. I need to get a consistent group together and run through it. Yes, we have had that same problem.
Yes, we have.
Are you guys having a contest to win friends who can actually show up on a game day and don't bring a friend with them that screw up the player count for Gloomhaven?
Sadly, we are not.
No.
No, I feel like that would be the most popular contest ever, though.
Yeah. Which I feel like that was like one of Trey's entries to that contest for Gloomhaven was like his really long story about trying to have a personal ad to find board gamers
Mhm.
to play with. And he was the only one that was perfect.
Yeah.
Next up is from Paul. I like your Kickstarter coverage. Your guys' general cynicism has definitely helped me resist throwing money at some Kickstarters like Batman Gotham City Chronicles. Paul.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and that's
I-
part of the goal.
I
Like-
faintly remember shitting all over that because I was like, hey, another mini game that could probably be total horseshit. And we won't know for a year and a half, and then no one can ever buy it again. But guess what? They have your money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've already started another Kickstarter that probably made $1 billion. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more than it should have. But that's part of, what we try to do here. Like if there's a Kickstarter we're actually like interested and excited about, we'll tell you. But we also like to put on the brakes on ones that are sketchy. Even if they
Yes.
look really cool.
Yeah.
So glad that's working out for you, Paul.
The next email comes from Gunder. It's a cool name. Hello, gents. Happy birthday. There wasn't much content in this podcast, which is just a fucking insane statement to start off with. But first,
Well, I mean, there's more to the
I
statement.
know, but just saying those words.
Yeah.
That appealed to a new listener by title,
Mm-hmm.
but congrats on interviewing Jamie Stegmaier. He's a super dude, and I watch on Facebook a lot. This is the first podcast by your team I've listened to. Your inane ramblings are charming, but so far unfamiliar to me. I am happy too.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It's like he entered too soon. He's like, ah, shit.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah.
that's just
Like-
the way it's going to be.
did we count this as an entry?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, technically,
He did list a
he
I listed a thing.
Sort of.
he mentioned about us interviewing Jamie Stegmaier, which
He at
is
least
enough.
listened to
Yeah.
an episode.
Maybe but I think he was referring just to titles.
Oh no,
trying
yeah,
to-
yeah. But you know what?
Eh,
He made
that one.
he made some effort, more effort than other people did. So
we might get to those
There's
later.
a lot of low effort.
yeah. We just like some effort, like just enough.
The bare minimum.
bare minimum.
Basically, what we do on the show,
Uh-huh.
aka the bare minimum,
Yeah.
that's what we expect from our fans.
Yeah,
the bare minimum.
Calling us Board Game Blitz. That's not a way to get an entry in.
No, you do not make it on the list if you call us Board Game Blitz. Although we're friends with Board Game Blitz, those three women
Very-
are awesome.
Very nice
Yes.
people.
You should definitely listen to that show.
Yeah.
Makes a nice palate cleanser between ours.
Next up is Dwayne. I liked episode 90. The top 10 games under 90 minutes was my favorite.
There you go. That's two.
Two
Two.
constraints.
What do you
Apparently
mean
everyone-
that's two?
people that have liked this specific episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying those were two things. Like, I liked episode 90, and I liked the top 10
No.
games under 90 minutes.
That
I was
would-
be like, guys, you know that was
That's
the
the
same
second
episode,
time somebody
right?
has mentioned that.
That would also
episode.
not make sense, Adrian.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't say that.
Yeah, that's why we didn't say that. We said we like to say things that make sense.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up so much.
This next one comes from Anthony. My favorite moment with you guys was from one of your more recent episodes. You guys were taking a look back at Terraforming Mars, which inspired my friend and I to get it back to the table after not having played it in a long time. It was just as great as I remember, if not better. So thank you.
First mention, Terraforming Mars. Great
Indeed.
game.
So far.
Really excited for the 2 expansions coming out this fall. Hopefully you guys get to get some hands-on experience at Gen Con
We
with at
will-
least one of them,
Yeah.
if not both.
Yes, we will attempt Prelude at the very minimum.
Attempts will be made.
Someone has to actually bring the game to Gen Con
Oh shit!
to do that.
God damn it!
Yep.
And
Adrian, bring the game for us.
I'm not going to Gen Con. I
I-
will be several
just-
states
I
away.
just need you to detour to Indy.
Not going to happen. Jeff, also don't forget to take a really good beer to give to Jamie Stegmaier and be like, hey, I'm the beer guy.
I assume he likes beer, right?
Or not Jamie Stegmaier. Also, you maybe take beer to Jamie Stegmaier.
I mean, we have an interview
I was
with
thinking
him.
Stephen Bonacore.
Stephen Bonacore, of course I'm going to bring
Yeah.
beer to.
Yes.
I am now Mr. Epic,
Mm-hmm.
so the only way he will remember me
Yes.
is handing him delicious, delicious beer. I'll just hand him Ant. Ant and him can chit-chat
Yeah,
about
there you
beer.
go.
Like, this is the band that made
I
it.
really want you to just carry Ant through the convention hall and hand him
Yeah.
to
Stephen Bonacore.
Bonacore.
Well, what is it's you give a man a beer, he's drunk for a while. Give a man a brewer, he's drunk for the rest of his life.
There you go.
True statement.
Yes.
Next email.
This one is from Michael. My favorite episode with you guys is constantly supporting #Team Adrian when no one else does, and the great episodes of high quality.
No.
I'm sorry. The great episodes of high quantity content.
See?
Yes. Because that's what we're all about. Quantity over quality.
That's when you can tell it's a real listener.
yes. Also,
I think it's his favorite experience.
Yes. No, that's what it was.
I was going to say, yes.
That's what was meant to be said. Yes.
Yes. It was a
Typo.
heavy typo.
Sorry, you're nice.
Yes. Next up is Mark. My favorite episode is currently this one. It's the first one from you guys I've listened to. Frankly, I think I'll listen in the car to and from work. Might help keep the road rage down.
As
Mark.
a future email we'll touch on, we're great for helping you chill out when you're really fucking pissed about
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Just listen to our inane ramblings, our smooth
But
voices.
my question though, is he referring to this episode? The
No.
one? No.
I mean, clearly not. But we don't know which episode.
Exactly.
To be
I think
fair.
the only constraint we put on this was like, you can't say all of them.
Uh-huh.
I probably also should have said, not this one, because the one that we had the contest.
Well, or
for.
you should have to specifically list the because we mentioned the contest in
Well,
like
either an
5
ep-
episodes.
Either an episode or a moment or
Yes.
something like that. But
No.
whatever.
Indeed.
Congratulations, Mark, on squeaking in under the wire. Hopefully, you're still listening.
Yeah. Congratulations on not winning.
Yes.
Dicks.
This next one comes from Melissa. My favorite memory, I guess, episode One More Time with Feeling, because 1, I'm a Buffy fan, so funny title, and 2, I did not know Seven Wonders was going to have an expansion, so helpful to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
The next one comes from Mike. A couple of my favorite moments. That time I found out you taught me stockpile wrong over the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Classy moment.
Classy.
Instead of being like, hey, Mike, I know we played games yesterday. We found out a rule wrong. It was like, we did the episode, and in the episode, we're just like, yeah, we met up with a listener, Mike, and we taught him some games. By the way, we taught you stockpile wrong.
You sell.
Hopefully you haven't been playing the way we taught you because we were wrong.
Yeah, you sell before you do any of the moves. And it's like, where does the insider trading come from? This is like regular trading.
So we weren't making nearly enough money.
2 words, floor slapping.
God damn it.
That's like the 3rd heavy reference in
Dude,
the last
it's been
week.
coming up so much. Somebody posted on Twitter a gif of a basketball player floor slapping in front of a guy who was dribbling, and the guy dribbling just cut around him.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is your Barbara Streisand moment of trying to get
I haven't
harder
tried
you-
to get rid of it.
the harder you
I've
want it
embraced it, but I'm bitching about
Yeah.
how often it shows
basically
up.
something like a picture happened on the internet or something like that. And she's like, just ignore the picture or
It was a picture of her house.
That's what it
and
was,
She didn't
yeah.
want a picture of her house on the internet. And everyone then found out that a picture of her house was on the internet. So everyone went to go look at that picture of her house on the internet.
Yep.
Similar to the picture of Beyonce that showed up after the one Super Bowl.
Yes.
That her
Where she looked very unflattering.
and then her lawyers didn't want it on the internet anymore. Not her specifically.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought she was a part of that whole.
The yes, it is. It was her lawyers that were like, no, get this off the internet. I don't think she
That
has ever
doesn't
had
happen.
any statement on the picture.
Okay.
He continues. Also, early on there was a tangent where you start talking about all the horrible shit people who live in brick houses do. It pops into my head randomly when I'm driving around and see brick houses. No idea what episode this was.
I don't remember this at all.
I don't know.
Mike,
I live in a brick
I-
house. This current apartment I live in is a brick house. Megan and I were heavily looking at brick houses. We didn't end up, that's not what our house we bought isn't brick.
Good job for not being a shit person. Then I guess.
Yeah, congratulations, me.
I distinctly remember this conversation.
Okay.
I don't remember how it came up or the context around it, but it was basically anyone that had brick facades on their house, you never want to trust them because they're always doing weird shit in that house.
Oh.
So
So not actual brick, but just like it's a brick. Ooh.
Fake brick.
Yeah, fake. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So if you see someone in a brick house, they live in a brick house, they're weird, you don't trust those people.
Yeah.
So that was.
I do not remember this.
Mhm.
I am with you. I have no idea what kind of
I don't know the context, but I do remember this coming up.
So-
Like, man, deep cut.
Yeah. Mike proving his longtime fanship by referencing some really old, weird shit.
Yeah, weird.
Didn't help you win the contest, but props to you.
Indeed. This next one comes from Matt. Hey guys, my favorite moments are too hard to narrow down. One of my most laugh out loud moments was how you guys responded to the fake history of Roman emperors and the fact that you were quoted for having it on your show by another site when you got nominated.
Not nominated.
Not nominated. We
when
got
we
it.
fucking won
Yeah.
best board gaming podcast, best local board gaming podcast in Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
Yes, there was no nomination.
None.
Straight up won. It's a little selfish of me to say that. Though, I also love how Jeff reacted to the emus, but that's me again.
Matt, send in both of those things for those of you
Yeah.
who are out of the loop.
Yes. So not to be too self-indulgent, I'll say that it's just the normal bullshit banter you guys do routinely.
I really like to think that it's actually he meant Bill shit.
I just
And
like
it's
how
just a different phrase.
you can always tell when someone is sending it on a phone.
Yeah.
It also says that at the bottom.
Even without that.
I know it's not a specific show, but it allows me to feel like I'm really there in your kitchen or wherever the hell you record now.
In the guest room.
A spare bedroom.
Spare bedroom with a mattress on the wall.
Yes. Just chilling with you guys. Hearing about the games is nice, but just being there and hanging out makes you guys #1 most relatable in my book.
We're up to like 4 tags now.
Yeah.
Most podcast, Denver #1 popular, #1 most relatable,
Hashtag #1 most hashtag 1 most relatable.
hashtag 1 most relatable. And what was the other one we just had? Fuck, I lost it already.
Yep.
I know you. I can tell by the look on your fucking face you remember it, Zach. Quit leaving me hanging. What is it?
Nope. I'd say anything.
Say it.
Mm-mm.
Share.
Continue, Jeff.
No.
Congrats on your success
God
and
damn it.
future success. Matt, the emu. Yes, many moments.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you so much right now, Zach. You have no idea how infuriated I am. The passion is just burning inside of me.
Well, if you want to go vent, well, Jeff reads the next one. You have a good 20 minutes before he finishes.
Yeah. Yeah. This one.
Everyone,
This is a true listener. I can tell. They
This
really
is,
embrace the core concept of the Maha game,
Yeah.
guys.
this is story time, everyone. Hold on to your butts. This one comes from Taylor. In true MHGG tradition, I am going for both the prize and the status of most email to relay the full emotional impact of my favorite MHGG moment. Estimated value, if read on air, is 1,000th of a cent. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. 1,000th of a cent of content if backing at the $1 level.
Well, or 138th 10,000ths. Or 100,000ths. 138 100,000ths.
that right?
0.00138. You were rounding some numbers.
1.38 thousandths. How about that?
Okay. Of
Sure.
a penny.
Yeah.
Of a penny.
Yes.
We got to make sure people aren't missing out the full value.
Yeah. Yeah. We're really bulking up that number right
Yes,
now.
we are.
She says, I've been hosting a weekly game night at my house for 2 years. While I was initially hesitant to invite strangers into my house, we're at 124 of 124 consecutive weeks of not getting murdered and have met some great people.
That's a great statistic.
Yeah, keep
Yep.
that streak alive.
I don't think anyone from our 5
Literally, please keep that streak alive.
I don't think what's our game night at? At least 5 years of not murdered?
Yeah, but I mean, we only do 50 a year for 5 years. I guess we're at like 250 and some.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over.
Solid. There's only one guy that we've wanted to ask leave. He's the sort of gamer that will loudly espouse the most popular BGG opinion he's most recently read, and like an American in a foreign country, will simply talk louder and repeat things if you disagree. It's true. He would spend most game nights browsing forums and Reddit on his phone, only coming back to reality to snap, "You can't do that," whenever someone pulled off any combination of actions that affected his pieces. They inevitably always could do that, and their explanation of why was always drowned out in huffing and justification.
Christ.
My negative feelings towards this player were solidified after our group completed the entirety of the Seafall campaign.
Which, fucking
Congratulations.
props to you. Holy shit.
I think one of the most famous things I remember reading about Seafall was someone saying, like, is Seafall worth $12? And someone's response is, how much time and effort is worth $12 to you? While the game design and rules presentation did have problems, we played the damn thing every weekend for 3 months and had a ton of fun with the mini campaign setting we created through the character naming and event book. 3 months. That's a lot of sessions of that
I mean,
game.
it's 12 sessions.
12
Sounds about
games,
Yeah, but like, it's a long game. It's probably a little too long.
I mean, that's Legacy.
2.5 hours per session?
Pandemic Legacy is going to be more than 12 sessions. Might not be 2.5
Not so much
hours.
session-wise, but
Yeah. Just per, I think
It doesn't feel that long because it's good.
We've only played like the prologue and the first mission
And
of
then
Seafall.
have never wanted to play
it
ever
might
again.
actually get way better. We just probably won't ever find out.
Except from everyone that's like, oh my God. And then Zach's famous lines that he always says, it's like, and now I have played Seafall.
Yes.
Is what would happen at the end of that campaign.
Yeah.
She continues. However, afterward, if the word legacy was ever mentioned at game night, we were all subjugated to a rant about how stupid you would need to be to purchase and stick with a legacy game through the end, and how much he suffered unjustly throughout our entire Seafall playthrough.
So he was the one complaining about
yes,
it. Okay.
Yes. So they were all like, hey, it wasn't the best. We had a lot of fun with it. We made our own story. Cool. Meanwhile, he was like, this is the worst night to play for 3 fucking months.
I mean, I'm sure he sounded just like that.
I don't doubt it. That's how these people always sound.
These people. Needless to say, he was not included in Gloomhaven, Pandemic, Imperial Assault, Seventh Continent, or Kingdom Death Monster.
By all accounts, much better campaign games.
And it also sounds like it was a great decision to make.
Yes.
Yeah. You got him out of the way on the shitty one.
Mm-hmm.
And I love... wow. Really just digging in there now.
Yeah.
I love all of those, except I haven't played Seventh Continent. Which prompted indignation that we all mutually agreed to ignore.
Good.
Yeah.
Mysteriously, our female attendance dwindled to just me while he was an active member. When I invited a friend from my women's ice hockey team, which is awesome.
Yeah, I want to hear much more about the women's ice hockey team, by the way.
To attend a game night and saw the creepy, persistent Facebook messages he sent her immediately afterward.
Ugh.
I figured out why.
Gross.
Fuck people like that.
Indeed. That was the last straw, but he had just announced the next week would be his last as he was leaving for college, so we took a deep breath and decided to wait it out 7 days. Yeah, there was no real age put in here. I'm not sure what age range these people are, but...
You can go to college at any time, Jeff.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
I was 21 in my freshman year.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I was 16, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite a range.
Yeah.
Right here in this room alone.
Yeah. Over the goodbye cake we had purchased for his final game night, he informed us that he had done his paperwork incorrectly and that his work transfer had failed, so he was going to be around another 6 months.
Oh, no.
He rounded out the announcement with a testimonial about how much our game group meant to him. Thoroughly guilted, we ground our teeth and gave him a second chance. 6 months came and went. Then 6 more months came and went. Out of nowhere, we get a notification on our group text that his work transfer suddenly went through, and just like that, he was gone. Female attendance to game night went up 300% the very next day. Until one Monday night, my partner and I just got home from work. I was coming off a 60-hour work week supervising construction work, and he had just returned from 3 weeks working abroad. We were planning on cooking a nice meal and settling in to watch a movie. My phone rang from the kitchen counter. I let it go to voicemail. Immediately, my partner's phone rings. We exchanged a look, and he gritted his teeth and answered. Our problem gamer's car had broken down on the way out of town. He was getting towed back and demanded we pick him up from a junkyard 45 minutes south of town. Our game group had gone through a lot of grief in this past year. Sick newborns, cancer, divorce, lost jobs. My partner and I had been largely immune, so we discussed trying really hard to be thankful for what we have and sacrifice more to support our friends. Since that conversation was about 15 hours old...
You're just like, damn it. Why do we have to be nice people?
We both exchanged a look and doubled down on our new resolution.
I told you we should have talked about this tomorrow.
Agreeing to pick him up and quietly noting that we should have developed a companion technical dictionary to our resolution that more clearly defined friend.
Yeah, so you could be like, yeah, we were going to be better to our friends. That does not include this person.
Yes. Asterisk. While we waited for follow-up details, a text came through saying, "Never mind, I got it handled." Before I could even make a pithy statement about how great it was that he had discovered the existence of Uber and hotels, A tow truck rumbled to a stop, jumping the curb into our front yard.
Jesus.
Before I could even pull my shoes on and walk outside, it had unloaded a familiar car, our problem gamer, and his 150-pound Great Dane. Surprise! The first words out of his mouth when he and his dog walked in the door, I don't have a phone charger, so you need to drive me to Walmart.
Who doesn't have a phone charger? Like,
This real piece of shit.
yeah, well, obviously.
Warning signs.
Mhm.
Does your friend have a phone charger? No. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You're better off without him.
Indeed. Taking a deep breath, I drove him half-mile to Walmart and waited while he shopped for all the things he suddenly remembered needing. We went back to the house, and I made dinner and set up a bed in our office, and he lounged on the couch with his bare feet up on the coffee table. I asked what he was going to do in the morning, since it seemed like the car in our yard only had 3 wheels.
Oh, Jesus.
He said he was going to junk it and buy a used car from someone in town. That seemed questionable after just losing a tire to untightened lug nuts, but I didn't disagree.
To be fair, I've lost a tire to untightened lug nuts. That is a thing that happens.
Are you this piece of shit?
I mean,
No.
a piece of shit. Instead just mentioning that I left for work and 7
At 7.
Ah.
Said, just mentioning that I left for work at 7.
Instead, just mentioning that I left for work at 7 and my partner, though working from home for the day, was severely jet lagged and would be on conference calls most of the day. If he needed a ride, he could be up at 7 and I could drop him off on my way. He insisted he could fend for himself. Needless to say, no one else was awake when I headed out the door. I received a text around 3 that afternoon, apparently at the threat of the car search otherwise taking multiple days. My partner had spent 4 hours driving him around to test drive and negotiate on used cars, and deal with the sale and registration forms. He did get one and packed up his dog and things as I got home from work. I asked if the tow company was coming for the car sprawled across the lawn, and he said they were supposed to get it by the end of the day. They did not. At the end of the next day, I sent a neutral text just asking if he could follow up with the tow company to make sure they knew to come get the car. He responded immediately and closed our friendship saga with the following statement. Technically, it's not my car anymore, so it's not my problem.
Oh,
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's not just, I assume this isn't just the South where you keep your cars in your front lawn.
I assume not.
Yes.
even then.
Even then,
then.
there's some respect about
You
keeping
keep
your
your
car
own, and it's your own car that you keep in front of your
in
own yard.
own yard.
Yes.
Just bring your car to somebody else's yard.
You would know from Georgia.
Yes.
I also left a car in front of somebody's house in Georgia. There's
I'm fucking telling you, man. This is fucking Adrian.
This is Adrian.
this is so long ago. All of these things for me was so long ago.
Yeah. You went to college.
Yeah.
This is where you guys came in. Instead of smashing my phone onto the ground or face into the drywall,
Oh, Jesus. It's good she did.
Yeah.
Don't do.
And she is a ice hockey player. The drywall probably would.
I mean, yeah.
She'd be fine. I grabbed my headphones off the counter and walked outside. I laid in the hammock, looked at the sky, and marathoned MHGG. Enviously imagining what my own Blood Bowl league would look like if I could ever make it through the game's mind-numbing tutorial.
PC games.
The PC game's mind-numbing tutorial with Jeff's bloody minutes, tearing up with laughter over Zach's seemingly non-sequitur quips and prepared statements, which I think is my
Yes.
prepared statements.
Yes.
I think non sequiturs is definitely Zach.
Oh,
for
100%.
sure.
But the prepared statements are definitely Jeff.
Indeed. And feeling a deep kinship with Adrian, who serves a similar role as the group's undeserved punching bag and heavy game lover. It is not
Tough burden to bear, Taylor.
It is not undeserved. He deserves everything.
100% undeserved.
Nah.
What did I ever do to any of you?
Podcast vote?
If you know what, you know what. If you don't know, we're not telling you.
My partner found me 3 hours later, and
So one episode.
Yes.
although he doesn't understand the appeal, he will tune in for the snowboard segments. We both appreciated your slow reveal of the existence binding angle settings. I had to discover what this is because I never did any of that this season.
Yeah.
It was my first season.
Yeah, Ant handled most of that for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just assume he knows what he's talking about because he probably does.
Yeah.
And he certainly knows
I'm
more than me.
I'm just assuming Ant just dressed you up and then just pushed you off.
Jeff looked like the little kid in the one in the Christmas story.
But on a snowboard.
Yeah.
There was not enough padding, clearly, to stop what happened very soon after. You know, in the bowl, that's basically what he did. It's like, how do you ride on waist deep powder? Just go.
I do feel bad about the fact you didn't have nearly enough prep for the bowl.
The crazy, crazy deep powder.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure to fix that next season.
Yes.
I'll give you more heads up about what to do
Indeed.
and how to do it.
Yes. Your most underrated segment is definitely Zach's Arrested Development themed 2017 Game Awards. That is the only way to truly do Game Awards. The most blue game of 2017 would never otherwise have been documented for posterity.
Lisboa won that prize for those who
Very
were
much
wondering.
so. I'm not sure
blue.
there was not nominations for that. It
No.
was just the winner.
No.
Yes.
Much like us. I'd love to throw out an underrated game that I think overlaps everyone's gaming tastes. The poorly named City of Spies Storil, 1942? Storil?
Sure.
Not a city. I assume it's a city. I don't know what city that is. Sounds like a war
It's
game.
a city of spies.
Indeed. Sounds like a war game.
How very intuitive of
Yeah.
you, Zach.
Sounds like a war game. Plays like tactical poker with area control and set collection. The tactics vary greatly at every player count. Thanks for the Ponzi scheme recommendation. I never would have found that game otherwise, and it's been a huge hit. My group has played 5 times and still nickels and dimes their way through every scenario.
It's the only way to play.
Yeah. I'm glad that, like, I feel
Several people have been
that seems like the most, the game most people have been like,
we didn't know about this.
Yeah, we didn't know
until
about
you
this at all.
guys.
And this is awesome.
Now we just tell problem gamers to shape up or get the fuck out and take a free 3-wheeled car of their choice from our front lawn. Game night is better for it. Taylor.
Well, thank you, Taylor, for that amazing email.
That was great. Yes.
This was unanimously, we felt the best entry from this round of giveaways. And so, Taylor, if you would reply to us with your mailing address, we would like to send you a small little package with, some dice, some stickers, MHGG swag, essentially. Nothing ridiculous.
Maybe a coaster from Epic.
Maybe an Epic coaster. But just some little swag to show we appreciate you. Sorry, the best entry of them all did not, unfortunately, win because we do randomly choose. But if it was up to us, Taylor, you would have won. So we'd like to give you a little consolation prize if you share your mailing address. So,
Indeed.
And sorry you had to deal with such a piece of shit fucking person.
But glad that you're done with
gone.
now.
It's done.
Yeah.
Like us with the person who punched you,
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
That's just over and done. They're gone
I was trying
now.
to think of like people from Game Night that are now excommunicated from Game Night.
There's not many.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate.
No, it's been a running joke that if you ever want to get out of game night, you just punch me in the face and you're done.
That's your
You're
that's
done.
like I'm done ticket.
Yeah.
Like if I ever move away, I just punch Zach in the face the last day. Be like, I'm out.
I mean, if I move away, that's definitely the last thing I'm doing. Have a big going away party. Everybody's like, "Oh, Adrian, we're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you." Yeah, fuck all of you bitches. I'm gonna slap the floor and then just punch Zach in the face and walk out the door.
Yep.
I'm out. That's how everybody's gonna remember me: a floor slap and a face punch.
Then we still do the podcast over long distance.
Yeah.
It's just the way you get out of the game night.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
there's no hard feelings.
It's like how you get out of the Yakuza where you have to like cut off a finger or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to punch Zach in the face.
Yeah. Me and Tyler are still best friends.
I don't think that's true.
You are correct.
2 more here to wrap up the episode.
This comes from Sontlooks.
Sure.
Sure.
That's a
Don't have it. I don't know.
There's a lot of consonants, not a lot of vowels. Or maybe a lot of vowels and not a lot of consonants.
There's 2 vowels and 5 consonants. So the first one.
Indeed. I just started listening to your podcast. Found you guys through Everything Board Games, which is that contest.
That the guy was talking about, yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
That's it. And then last up on emails is from Andrew.
This was not technically an entry because we got it 3.5 hours late.
Yes.
Which anywhere in the continental U.S. where we could ship it, it was too late. So
Yeah,
Indeed.
there was no way to make that actually work.
He titles this Viking Chumps, which is not what the other ones were, but that's fine. Hello, year 2020, since I'm assuming that's when this contest email will be read.
I just want to say this cemented the fact that we wanted to do this.
Yeah, this was kind of like, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do something else. Like, no. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I didn't enter the contest because I know several people with the game already, and I thought I'd let one of the other loyal listeners of Board Game Blitz, I mean MHGD, or whatever the damn show's name is, win. I can make fun of those people because I know they stopped listening right after you announced the winner. He's just saying everything we feel.
Yes.
My favorite moment so far was a couple months ago, watching Adrian earn $12.
Andrew, I thought we were
online
friends.
food chain magnate. His favorite game. Watch out, McDonald's. Adrian's gonna take you down.
Fucking shit.
That's a good score, right?
Well,
12.
for perspective,
he could have done nothing but played one waitress card per round and earned $65.
God damn it.
Damn bad luck. If a few things had gone his way, he might have made $13.
Fucking hell. Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Man, you suck at this game that you love. Since it's 2020, I wonder what the show's like now. Are y'all recording 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours each now? Well, it's 11 p.m. and my shift's over now. Next up is Zach, who will read BGG responses for episode 5025. Our episode's titled, Fuck You. Let's just get through with this shit. Actually, consider this email my response for whichever contest is closest to when you read this on air. Thanks for the contest. Name of the giveaway game, in parentheses, is really fun. Still not as hateful as the other Andrew. Andrew.
great email.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to include this.
We basically did this entire episode for 2 emails.
And they were hashtag worth it.
Mhm.
I mean, Ant technically sent in a way late email as well for the contest.
To be fair, from Anthony, contest.
Yep.
My favorite part of the podcast is the Bloody Minute. All praise to Nuffle.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
He came over to me at work today and was like, "Did you see my email?"
He's been very sick and can barely talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you sound like shit. And he's like, fuck you.
What did he really sound like?
Fuck you.
The first time I saw him today, I was in the pack hall, and like they weren't any of them there because they are not doing work today. But Ant was like walking by from filling barrels, and like he kind of saw me come in, and we're on the opposite side of the pack hall, and he kind of like nods at me. And I just yell, I'm like, "Hey, how's the plague doing?" He just kind of like barely like lifted an arm, like, "Meh." Yeah.
Apparently he watched like 25 movies.
Oh yeah.
Like
He blames us for getting sick.
he sat in Zach's plague chair.
He sat in Zach's plague chair.
I don't have a plague
And
chair.
then Jeff drove him to the brewery where his bicycle was, and then he had to ride his bicycle from the brewery home in the rain. And that's
It
where he
wasn't
really
really
claims he got
raining too bad
sick.
until the last couple minutes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was
All I know
safe
is
home and
I wasn't here when he got sick. So
Doesn't
It was-
mean it's not your fault.
Yeah.
You filled that microphone with the plague you're immune to. You're Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Zach.
Typhoid Zach.
worst things to be.
Yeah.
It's true. Did she die of typhoid?
No.
No, she
Yeah.
was asymptomatic.
Exactly. It's fine.
You'll never die from it.
Exactly. Apparently, I won't die from the plague. That sounds like a great,
you'll just
great
kill
thing.
everyone else.
Survival of the fittest.
I think there's like a X-Men comic with that exact same premise. His
Okay.
mutant power is he melts everyone within like 300 feet of him, and they have to send Wolverine to go kill him, or else everyone will hate mutants even more or something.
Okay.
It was in the Ultimate Comics.
Gotcha.
He was like, "Oh, there's people," and then he started like, "Oh, it's fine," and then you see them just melting behind him, like him not noticing. His superpower was kill everything within 300 feet.
Damn.
That will soon be Zach's superpower.
Well, that wraps up the
Looking
episode.
forward to go to Gen Con.
Yeah.
Right?
Just eliminating the competition.
Yeah, make sure you go to all of the other podcast meetups.
Yeah.
Just not ours that we're not having.
Yeah.
They'll just have to find us.
Yes.
We'll be the ones loud and drunk.
Yes, we will.
Anyway, thank you everybody who entered the contest. We really appreciate it, and we were happy to get your emails out in a timely fashion, not episode 5000 in 2020, like Andrew predicted.
Yeah.
Glad to disappoint him at least once.
Although I do like the fact that in only 2 years we will apparently have gone to 5,000 episodes.
Well,
To be
I
fair,
mean,
we're
once we
working on
switch to 24/7,
24-hour,
Exactly.
8-hour shifts.
8-hour shifts.
But where's the
talking-
banter of each other? Like it just
Well, clearly each 8-hour shift will have to fill in for each other.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be my 8-hour shift will be me speaking and then imitating the two of you ripping on me.
Yeah, that's really the end game.
yeah, we don't even have to be here. Once we've conditioned him enough.
Yes.
But yeah,
Just
so
ring a bell.
Zach, I believe you wanted to address some of the BGG episodes or listings, BGG listings.
So when we did the BGG one, we thought it was like, oh, this will be interesting. You know, it's like, hey, Board Game Geek or Board Game Blitz has a thing where they're like, oh, you know, you can listen to our podcast in less time it takes to do whatever. And usually it's
Something quick.
something quick because it's a quick one. We are like, oh, ours is long. So people will be like, oh, you can listen to our podcast in less time that it takes to blah, blah, blah.
To do long thing.
Yeah,
For the heat death of the universe.
exactly. Our daily was long things happen in in a quicker time than it would be to listen to one of our episodes. And some people didn't really get it because
Understatement.
at least 3 or 4 people still had Board Game Blitz in their entry. And it's like, that's not at all. So I even edited it to show, here's the question that we're asking. Answer that question. And then it went on longer. And then a couple days ago, I was like, I edited it one final time. And I was like, look, your answer needs to fit in this question. But I do want to thank Apollo for trying to guide the
Still some sense of order.
yeah, he's tried to herd all these cats into the right answer.
Right?
So I appreciate that. And we didn't validate any of the wrong. Anything that was still wrong, we counted as an entry, but an invalid entry. So
Yes.
Yeah. so we got, did you say balls? Is that what you said we had to have?
Huh?
He said, like, you guys better have the balls to,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
To cut the if you allow all of them in,
Yeah.
you have no balls.
that's what it was.
So we have balls. So over on Twitter, we did the Viking funeral pyre, the Viking funeral pyre, which some people just listed 3 games, which is roughly what we expected. But there were some where they added reasons. So like we had D. Wyatt from the MFG cast, and he says, for the pyre, I ask for antiquity, since eternity will be enough time for more than 2 plays of it.
All right.
I asked for Santorini to mess with the gods as I beat them by using their characters. And lastly, I asked for Oh My Goods because Alexander Pfister makes insanely good games. Which, to be fair, Alexander Pfister does make really good games. Monica, one of hers was I'd take Monopoly to cause fights to break out. So, I guess if you want to see the gods fight in Valhalla. Mike, one of his 3 games was Blood Rage because, of course, the Vikings would be down to play Blood Rage.
Mhm.
Considering it's a game about Vikings and Valhalla and everything. Pez says, Robinson Crusoe, if I'm already dead, then I can't lose, right? Spaceler, I'll have time to teach this to people and go through this glorious rulebook. And Twilight struggle for that sweet, brutal fight to keep me on my toes. Yeah. A lot of things like that, reasons they'd want to play certain games with the gods.
Yeah.
So.
And we did have 2 people that originally just put in the hashtag, but then they fixed it.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's anybody that put in the wrong hashtag because I didn't look.
No, we looked for MHGG Midgard.
Yeah.
What we said we would. So if you did Midgard MHGG, sorry, you're not in.
Mm-hmm.
I like how one person was like, who would ever want to torch their 3 favorite games? Vikings. Vikings would. Because that's how they did their funerals.
Mm-hmm.
At least in pop culture. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm sure the hater will correct us on Viking culture if we were wrong about Vikings burning things.
Besides the horned helmet thing.
Well, yeah, but we all knew that wasn't accurate.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you for everybody who entered. Congratulations to those of you who won. And thank you to everybody who has supported us for the last 2+ years at this point. 2 years and 3 weeks. We've been doing this thing.
Yep.
Trucking along.
That is something.
And we got a game coming out next week. So
Indeed. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday for the normal banter episode. Also, we do know in advance that tomorrow is when the new Cool Mini or Not Ridiculous Miniatures game releases. So we'll be talking about that next Wednesday.
yeah.
And then Friday's episode will be a review of Carthago from Capstone Games, a nice little mid-weight worker placement, multi-use card hand building game. Not
Action
deck building.
selection.
Action selection.
Yeah.
Really good game though. Well, at least I like it a lot. We'll see what Zach and Jeff's opinions are. But that'll be next Friday's review. And yeah, we'll be getting back into the swing of reviewing things, especially once I finish this whole fucking moving process. Between me moving, Zach being out of town for a week, and
Jeff being out of town, and
Jeff being out of town, plus other life things for all 3 of us. It's been a little hairy, but we're trucking through and remaining strong, being the most podcast. No commitment to excellence, just a commitment to quantity. So, yeah. If you ever want to get a hold of us, you can always do so by sending us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can follow us on Twitter. I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I am Jeff_MHGG.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram /MileHighGameGuys. We also have our guild over on Board Game Geek. It's guild number 2731. You can find us over there. Always be sure to check out our website, milehighgameguys.com, for episode releases and really generic host profiles. If you really want to see just the most generic host profile possible.
Default
Default
host
profile.
profiles.
Oh, yeah.
For
It's
2 out of 3 of us at least.
but it's like different sorts of defaults.
They are
which is
different
good.
sorts of default. And then also be sure to go check out punchboardmedia.com. Check out all of the other awesome content creators over there. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to check us out next Wednesday. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Orator Jeff.
Bye.
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 But yeah, so that wraps up the episode. Thanks everybody for who. Wow.
Who them there did send
Oh,
them their
dear.
emails.
Are you okay,
Oh
Adrian?
dear, no, I am not.
Oh dear.
I am
Adrian, are you
not.
okay to drive back home?
Luckily, I am home.
Are you okay to walk to the couch?
No, I might not be. I'm gonna need one of you guys to carry me out of this room.
Not
Megan?
it.
Jinx?
Nose
Yeah.
goes.
Jinx, can you drag Adrian out of a burning building?
Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.